Hey, what's up, guys? It's Boomy coming to you from Hawaii. And while I'm here in this beautiful Polynesian atmosphere, I still have the same things on my mind that are typically on my mind, and that would be success and personal growth and achievement, personal development, and becoming the greatest version of ourselves that we can be. So, in that, today, I want to share with you something that I'm reading. I want you to understand this. My mentor, Bob Proctor, said the secrets of the ages can be found in books. Understand that if you are seeking for the answers and seeking for more knowledge and clarity for whatever it is that you're pursuing, the secrets of the ages are found in books. So I love reading. I had this packet with me the other day. I actually had a business meeting here in Hawaii, and the lady like, what is that? I was like, oh, it's just, I printed out the pages of the ebook I'm reading. So I like take this with me. It's my comfort zone. And whenever I have some down minutes, I'm always reading and soaking up this knowledge. And today I want to share something with you that if you are in business, I want you to really tune in and listen to this about the law of activity. Now, I'm going to read kind of slow. I'm going to clarify, and I really want you to take some time in this. Now, this video will go out to everybody, but if you're on my team, I'm going to be making specific references um, to some of the products that we have, but this can apply to anybody. And I really want you to get an understanding of this because it's funny. People like, will join in a business, will become a business owner, and then just expect business to fall out of the sky. You got to create business. It's funny when people say, oh, this product isn't selling. Well, maybe because you're not selling the product. Okay. You got to learn how to sell and create business. So I'm going to start here. This is kind of like in the middle of the chapter, but we're talking about the law of activity. It says this law of activity we must use in our business. So maybe you've never heard of the law of activity. So now you're about to find what is it and how you should be using it. So this reading was written over 100 years ago. Okay. So at that time, it was just traditional storefronts. Of course, there were no online businesses, but I want you to transition the information into today's atmosphere and just see how it still applies, even if whether you have an online business or traditional business. So many business places that we go into have such an atmosphere of inactivity. So you stop. Do you have a home-based business? Is it thriving or barely surviving? What is the atmosphere of your business? Is it one of inactivity or hustle and bustle and activity? So it says so many business places that we go into have such an atmosphere of inactivity, produce such a drowsy feeling that we at once lose all interest in what is going on. We don't feel like buying. Do people feel like buying from you? Does your business like kick up a spirit in people of, man, something's happening here? I want to connect with this business. I want, this is a thriving place, or does it make people feel like, oh, nothing is happening here in this business? We leave that place that makes us feel drowsy without any apparent reason and go into another. Now, here's another type of business. In this other type of business, we feel that all is life, like there's motion and all is activity, we feel confident that this is the place that we're looking for. We will buy here. We find just what we want. We're satisfied with our purchase and we go away cheerful. If you're in network marketing, you can even put this to the team. People want to be a part of a team where there's motion, there's activity, there's things moving. You can see that people are making money. You can see that people are selling, things are thriving. That's the type of business that people want to join. That's why it's important for the business owners to show and display that action, because people want to be a part of a winning team, not a part of a stagnant team. So you got to show yourself winning. You got to teach the team. Like, I want to open up people's heads and say, you got to get it. You got to show yourself winning on a daily basis. That is what attracts people to you. Now, to create this activity, something more than thought is essential. So we know thinking is important. We know everything starts in the mind, and that's a big part of activity. That's where it starts. But something in addition to just your mental thought is essential. Not that it does not come first. So everything starts in the mind, so that comes first. But the one who has this thought activity will naturally manifest it in a vigorous, energetic movement, which helps to produce a spirit of activity in his business and in everything he undertakes. So it starts in the mind. Everything starts with thoughts. You should have those thoughts forming and those thoughts coming out into the ether from your mind. But that's just where it starts, right? The person who is a person of mental activity is naturally then going to move through the mental to connect with the body and get you into motion, into energetic movement, vigorous movement, which produces the spirit of activity. So you got to get into action, but it starts in the mind. Wherever you see a man who does not move, then you will find one whose thought is inactive. The two always goes together. If you're not doing much in your business, you're not putting mental energy towards the thought of your business being thriving. But the person who puts that mental energy to it and sees himself in that thriving atmosphere where customers are coming, where business is coming, where you're making money, that moves you into action. So a man in a store or a place of business should always be moving his goods. Like, if you've got a lot of stock, you got a lot of inventory, is it just like sitting there? Or do you have intention to sell it? Are you talking about it? Are you sharing testimonies about it? Are you texting? Are you emailing? Are you videoing about it? Are you taking inventory of it? A person should always be moving his goods. He should always be doing something. People will see this, and getting the thought of activity behind it will want to trade there. So there's some people who may be selling bringing it up to today, they may be selling their wares on Facebook Live. I see people a lot of times doing that with their jewelry, with their earrings and bracelets and different products and pocketbooks. So they're putting it out where people can see. Because Kenya went live and had her purses and things, that I happened to see it, and guess what? She got the business from me. I saw something I liked. So when you are moving your goods, people will see this, and getting the thought of activity will want to trade there. They'll want to come and support you when they see you consistently in action. We are not attracted to a store that always has the same things on the shelf. The world likes action. What does the world like? The world likes action. What does the world like? The world likes action. That's why I've been telling you, you've got to show yourself moving. You got to show what you're doing. You've got to show what your vision is in vision cast, because why? The world likes action, and action is life. Action is life, is movement, is getting into the spirit of your business, and you want others to see this. Let a clerk in a store think activity and begin to manifest it, even though he may not be waiting on customers. And in a short time, he will be waiting on customers. So maybe there is a person who works in a store or a business owner, and right now the reality is there isn't a lot of action and customers going on, but let them start to think activity. You know what? Customers are coming to me in avalanches and abundance. People want what I have. They come in every day ready to buy. And what I want wants me too. That's lots of customers. That's lots of business. That's lots of partners. So let a person think activity and begin to manifest it. If you start thinking it in a short time, it will happen. Alertness is the word. Always be alert. There must be mental alertness before there can be any physical activity. So get your mind open and active and thinking and having ideas and get it moving. Create that mind space, that mental alertness with your mind. And before you know it, there can be physical activity, because when those and the energy start flowing in your mind, you get that the ideas start flowing, that puts you to action. All right. Mind causes the body to move into action. Act as though things were happening, even though they may not appear to be. So, right now, maybe the customers aren't coming in. Right now, maybe the business partners aren't coming in. Maybe the sales aren't coming in. So, what should you do? Should you use the power of your words to create more of, oh my gosh, people aren't buying. I'm gathering up a lot of inventory. No one has money these days. The words you speak become the house you live in. So, as we act as though things were happening, even though they may not appear to be, keep things moving, and soon you will have to avoid the rush. Act as those things are happening. When you act as those things are happening, you're speaking those things are happening. That's where it starts in their mind. What do you want to be happening? You want lots of customers. You want people calling on a daily basis. You want activity coming through your website on a daily basis. You want $100 a day or more on a daily basis. So what is it that you want? Act as though things are happening. Keep things moving, and soon you're going to have a lot happening. Activity is genius. Half the stores that you go to make you sleepy before you get out, and you feel as though you can't get out fast enough. The other half are live, and those are the ones who are doing business of the world. Even when people talk to you about your product on a phone conversation, are they energized? Are they inspired? Do they feel like, oh my God, this product will make me walk on water? I need this. Or are you just telling facts and, maybe giving science, and is just, you're not inspired, you're not acting excited, so neither are they. So which store are you? Are you that sleepy store where nobody's buying, or are you that alive store where the world is coming to you to do business? The man who is active in his thought doesn't have to sit by himself to think. He works while he thinks, and so complies with the law, which has to work through him. So there is a law that is at work in the universe. And as you are getting into action, The law is working through you. So it's not just, oh, I'm just sitting here stoic meditating, but think and move. While you pray, move your feet, right? And you need an action to cause a reaction. That is the law. Action, reaction, action, reaction. You've got to get into action. You've got to stay in action, and that is going to cause an equal and opposite reaction to come to you. That's going to be the manifestation of what you want. Okay? So the thought of activity makes him move, and the thought of confidence makes his movements sure. Gotta have that confidence. You gotta have a confident self-image. And when you're making your videos, when you're talking to people on your phone, even in your emails you're sending out, or your text messages you're sending out, you gotta ask yourself, does this message show that I'm confident about my product? Does it show I'm confident about what I'm saying? Does it show that I'm confident about where I'm going? Confidence is so important. You need to build this confidence into your self-image. It creates an atmosphere to you around you that is magnetic and will bring people to you. So this says the thought of activity makes him move, and the thought of confidence makes his movements sure. When you move and when you take action, you want it to be filled with confidence, and you want there to be a surety about you. And the thought of supreme guidance makes work intelligent. There is a power that is moving to you and through you every day. It has all the answers. It knows where the customers are. You can say the affirmation, I am divinely guided in my work. And so when you rely on this supreme guidance, you will make intelligent moves as you go forth. So we must be careful not to get into ruts. Always be doing something new and different, and you will find life becomes a great game in which you are taking the leading part. Life should be fun. It should be like a game. You should be able to work in the spirit of I ask and it just shows up. This is amazing. I live a magical life. There's magic in my mind. I am never in a rut, but I'm always full and active and full of activity. I'm always doing something, sharing something, giving value, teaching something, selling something, sharing something, inspiring, motivating, helping. This is the activity. You don't want to be in a rut. People in a rut are stoic. They're still. They're not doing anything. They're not sharing anything. They're not helping anyone. Nothing is happening. There's no fast moving energy there. Okay? So always be moving and doing something. Life will never become tiresome to the active mind and body. Today I was on a call and they were saying how I'm the Energizer Bunny. And so I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I just keep going and going and going. Why is that, man? Because I live an inspired life. I'm always inspiring myself because there's places I want to go. It's like yesterday I saw a vacation presentation. It's like, yeah, I want to go that place. I want to go that place. I want to go that place. That takes money. So I need to make more money so I can go to China and I can go to Alaska and go to this Mediterranean cruise. I want this. I want this. I want this. Right. And I know there's no limit to the abundance can be ours. So I just want to be able to bring in more and more abundance and show other people how they can bring in more and more abundance. So life doesn't get tiresome because my mind is active. You got to get your mind active. And when you get your mind active, that will help your body to be active. It is so interesting that we wonder if we will ever get enough of it. Like there's always more. There's always more. When you can get into that active mental space and you that that experiences you want for your life, it's like, oh my goodness, there's no end to the good that you can experience. Now, some people get into such lazy mental habits that a new idea cannot find entrance. Wow. Some people are mentally lethargic. They're mentally lazy and like a new idea can't even make its way in. There's no opening. But when you hook on to a great thought, when you hook on to a good idea, that attracts more and more great ideas. That makes you open for the good ideas to flow in. Great things are done by people who think great thoughts. How is your thought life? I want you to think about what you've been thinking about. Answer that. How is your thought life? Great things are done by people who think great thoughts. Are you thinking great thoughts? Yes or no? Great people think great thoughts and then go out into the world to make their dreams come true. Listen, great things are done by great people who think great thoughts. And then what do? They just think the thought and stop? No. You think the thought and then the action. Then they go out into the world to do what? To make their dreams come true. Do you want to make your dreams come true? Then you got to get into action, consistent action, divinely inspired action. If you can't find anything to do, go home and change the bed around, or the piano, or the cook stove into the parlor. This was written over 100 years ago. And eat on the back step for a time. It will start something moving and changing in you that will never stop. The wide awake person can find so many things to do that he hasn't time even to begin in this life, and knows that eternity is necessary to carry out the ideals that he already has evolved. Like, you should be so inspired. There's so many things to do, so many things that you want to take part in, that you're like, man, I may need a couple of lifetimes to do all this, but you're working to do as much of it as you can in this experience. So the wide awake person can find so many things to do that he hasn't time even to begin in this life. So there's so much good to do, so much to take part in. Everything comes from mind. But mind acts on itself, and we must act on ourselves and on conditions, not as slaves, but as masters. I'm the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. You need to say that to yourself. Affirm that I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Act upon yourself and upon conditions. Conditions, I create them. People say, oh, I'm okay given the circumstances. No, circumstances create the circumstance. And again, it starts in your mind, it starts with your thinking. Then the power of your words is so important. Remember this: if any word has power, all words have power. And you want to use that power of the spoken word for your good in your life. So be interested in life if you want life to be interested in you. I'm so interested in life. Yes. What's next? What can I do? Where can I go? What can I say? What can I achieve? Who can I help? Be interested in life if you want life to be interested in you. What you want wants you to, but do you know what you want? As you move closer to your goal is moving closer to you, but do you even have a goal, and can you stay focused on it for a long enough period of time for it to meet you? Act in life. Let me say it again. Act, movement, action. Get going, y'all. Act in life, and life will act through you. That's where that manifestation comes. It acting through you. So you will also become one of the great people on earth. I hope you were inspired by some of that on the law of activity. That's some good stuff. If you got to listen, listen again. If you need to go take notes on it. But we must use the law of activity in our businesses. It's time for you to get moving. It starts here, but once it starts with the thought, You got to move that body into